Thank you, Hallie. Thank you, Ron and Bobby and the JDCA and everybody who's spoken. I know the hour is late and we're wrapping up just now. I want to just bring to light one issue that we haven't yet addressed. I really agree with Simon that joy is better than fear as an organizing principle, but I need to speak to us briefly about what I see as really the greatest threat facing the planet today, which is the threat of extremism. And I want to say this today, not to scare us, but just to be clear about what is at stake in this moment and in this election. In our country and around the world, extremists are working to control women's bodies, to control the bodies of LGBTQ people. They want to arm the nation while they're fueling a race war. They want to do everything in their power to thwart efforts at climate justice, sending us off the edge of the climate abyss. They want to keep us hurtling toward endless war in Israel, dooming our Jewish family and our Palestinian neighbors to suffer under a region that is run by zealots and arsonists, when what we know is that we need sane and centered leadership that will reject the false binaries of our time and is ready to pursue a vision of a just and shared future. The extremists that are at the top of the GOP ticket are cloaked in the robes of the rhetoric of white Christian nationalism, and they're making common cause with all of the extremists around the world who are threatening our future, our safety, our dignity, our dreams. It's really important for us to be clear-eyed about this. Every religious tradition and every nation has to contend with its marginal voices. The danger of this moment is that when marginal voices become the mainstream, everything is at risk. When people move from provocateurs to policymakers or gadflies to government officials, we are all at risk because of their violent rhetoric and their violent actions and their fantasy of a fascist theocracy. We are all right now in danger, not only as a Jewish community, but also as a democracy, of hurtling toward a very, very dangerous future. In the face of so much violence and so much violent rhetoric, many of us were starting to feel hopeless. But then something absolutely wonderful blew across this country about 12 days ago. From the depths of our despair, Kamala Harris emerged and inspired a transformation in the heart of the country and shifted us from breakfast to dinner. You saw a transformation in the mindset of millions and millions of people in this country, because suddenly there was a person at the top of our ticket who was asking us to imagine a different kind of future, one that was not built on extreme vision of America, but instead built on a vision of justice and human dignity and peace, one where workers get paid fair wages, where women have bodily autonomy, where LGBTQ people are loved and dignified, where racism and poverty and climate devastation are not inevitabilities. Kamala Harris is reminding us with every speech and with every statement that this story is not yet over. She's spoken about this publicly, and she and I and Doug and I have spoken about this privately. As Rabbi Holtzblatt said earlier, VP Harris is deeply empathetic to the Jewish story, to our trauma, to our values, to our dreams. She shares those dreams because these are her dreams too. She stands before the nation today, insisting that in the face of the threat of extremism and in the face of so many intersecting crises, there is another way. It is not the way of war, it is the way of peace. It is not the way of degradation and dehumanization, but the way of dignity, not the way of extremism, but the way of compassion and reason. That is the promise of this campaign. I am so grateful to President Joe Biden for all that he gave to this country, and especially for this final blessing, for giving us the blessing of Kamala Harris at precisely the moment when she is offering us a very different vision of what our future could look like. I could not be more honored and more excited to support Kamala Harris and her campaign to become president of the United States of America. Thank you.